Good evening, good evening, good evening, good people. What's happening on this amazing Friday? How y'all feeling? Come on. Hope y'all feeling good on this absolutely amazing Friday. Facebook, YouTube, all my friends, loved ones, and supporters. Listen, you guys are time in tune for another amazing. That's right. It's a Friday night edition, Friday Night Fire, I call it. That's right. Of what? Gotta kick the weekend off the right way, my people, with what Wilson and Wilson weekends. Come on, y'all ain't turning it up. Wilson and Wilson weekends. We're here with you on this Friday night, and we are super, super, super excited to be with you, to be in your presence, and to hang out with you guys on this Friday. So listen, tag, share, tell somebody Wilson and Wilson weekends is on the air. Listen, you guys already know we have an amazing guest on tonight. I am super excited to talk to this man of God, this brother. Listen, this dude is simply phenomenal, right? Okay, we'll talk about his gift. We'll talk about everything that he does. But before we bring him on, good evening, good evening. As you guys are coming in, please say hello, tag, share, all that fun stuff as well. Listen, you guys, I am super excited. Listen, because today is Friday, right? Weekends here, but above all of that, right? God is faithful, and we give him praise. We bless him for being God. We bless him for giving us everything that we need. We bless him. I'm gonna turn this down, for giving us activities of our limbs. We bless him for just being God and loving us in spite of ourselves, right? Like, come on. We're talking about the God that could have killed us and should have killed us, truthfully, and all of our sins and all of our mess. He thought enough of us to spare our lives, and for that we are forever grateful. So listen, we got to do this thing the right way, you guys. Let us go and talk to the God that we love so much. Let's go to prayer. God, we thank you for this day. Father, we bless you. We give you glory, honor, and praise. We honor your name, God, for just being God. God, not coming to ask you for anything, God, but simply coming, God, to be in your presence and to thank you, oh God, for allowing us, oh God, this time of conversation, impartation, God, even insight, God, into your word, God, and into the lives of your people. We pray now, God, that the Holy Ghost shall give us what to say and how to say it on tonight. God, that you, oh God, shall continue to heal the land, that you, oh God, shall continue to keep us, oh God, and watch over us, oh God, as we do your will. Father, oh God, we thank you now, God, for this time. We give you glory, honor, and praise, and we love you now, God. Forgive us, Father, for any sin, God, that may be upon us. Use us tonight, oh God, for your glory. And we love you for all things now, in Jesus' name, amen. Listen, you guys, I am super excited. Man, you guys seen the flyer. Power Pack man on tonight. Listen, CG, what's happening? Come on. CG is in the building. Shout out to Cameron Grove, Amy Zion Church. Okay, listen, but I have to, if I'm going to say it, I got to say it the right way and to honor, that's right, the man, Pastor Kenneth Lamont Swan. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Listen, tonight we get to talk to the man himself. That's right, Mr. Dee Dowdy, who is the Youth Education Director of the Cameron Zion African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. Say that 5 times fast. Come on, that's a whole lot of words. Listen, we are super excited tonight to simply be before you. I am super excited to talk to. That's right, Dee Dowdy, aka Demetrius Dowdy. That's right. This man is simply phenomenal. He is, as I stated, the youth education director for Cameron Grove in Broadway, North Carolina, under Pastor Kenneth Swan. He is a radio personality on 104.5 FM in Fayetteville. That's right, the hip hop radio station there in Fayetteville. Listen, and he does so much more. He is a friend. He is, and I'm gonna tell y'all something because he didn't give me a bio, so I'm gonna go off the dome. Listen, tonight, Demetrius is a comedian. Okay, I don't know if people know that, but the man is funny, like legit. He is a jokester and will keep you rolling. So prepare yourselves tonight. Listen, you guys, as we dive in and we talk about what he's doing in the community, what got him started, and different things like that. Listen, he's a son. Okay, he is a son. He's a servant of God, and he loves God's people with all his heart. Okay, so tonight I need y'all to clap your hands, make some noise for my friend, my good brother. That's right, Mr. 104.5 himself, Mr. Demetrius Dee Dowdy. What up, brother?
What's up, man? What's good?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I got started laughing because that was a real riveting introduction.
Listen, straight
it.
off the dome, baby. Straight
Love
off
it.
the dome tonight. Listen, we are super excited. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on
Absolutely.
this Friday night, and you are in studio. So listen, let's just jump right in. Listen, for those that have never ever met Dee Dowdy, ever in the community, never heard you on the radio, who is Dee Dowdy?
Oh man. If I could give just one word, blessed.
Mm,
Like it's just one word. Like I'm from Sanford, North Carolina. My parents, one from Ghostin. A lot of people
okay.
from Ghostin, the Chatham County area
Yeah,
know David. Some of them know him as Pookie Dowdy, of course. A
yeah,
lot of them know my cousins and my uncles. They used to sing in a group called the Dowdy Boys. They still doing sing. They still singing. Randall and Darrell. They still
yeah.
quartet roots. That's on my dad's side. So
Wow.
that side was nothing but God on that side. And then flip to my mom's side. Everybody know my mom's side. My mom was Sarah Diane Blue and her
Yeah,
sisters. Yeah, a lot of people know Effie Woodard, and a lot of people
yeah.
know Cameron Grove and all those good things, man. So if I could describe who I am, it's just blessed, man. Just so blessed, bro. And I can't really, I couldn't ask for a better a better definition. We were talking about radio. I do radio.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something recent that I ain't gonna say recent. It's my 5th year, but it's still fairly new to what I have done in life. So like, bro, I'm just blessed, man.
I love it. No, that's dope. Listen, that's absolutely amazing. So I had no idea. Listen, you guys, and I told y'all I get exclusives and I get new information over here. So tonight you gave me new information. I had no idea that you were related to the Dowdy Boys. No,
Word up.
no,
I really
no idea.
keep it real, man. They probably watch this later. I'm really supposed to be a quartet singer, but
Ah,
you know,
come on.
I love quartet, man, and I love what they're doing, man, and it's just amazing. Like so, my whole makeup of who I am has always been Christ centered.
Come on.
My dad and them, they used to sing in the group, the original group,
Wow.
and my uncle Marvin went and took it to another place. He took it to the next generation with his sons. My grandma Margaret Dowdy, my granddad. If
Wow.
you from Chatham County, people know
Yeah.
MD Dowdy. MD Dowdy
Yes.
was a legend in Chatham County. That was my granddad on that side. So from Union Grove to like so it's deeply entrenched in who I am. You know what I mean? So,
I love that. Like dope. Like so shout out listen, because I mean that's home for me. I grew up in Chatham County.
yeah.
That's my Pittsburgh all day, every day, Chatham County. Come on, stand up. Like that's amazing. So I wanna so you were talking radio and everything else that you do. So when it comes to the radio and having the Christ center, the godly background from your family and everything else, for those that are watching and maybe wondering, okay, his family's entrenched in the gospel industry, in gospel music and
So how do
God's
I do
business.
this? So
So
how do
why?
I
So
do
there it is. So
this?
how is it that he's doing is a radio personality for a hip hop radio station? Just go ahead and help the people.
Let's get to the chase, man. I go to school right now. I'm in school at Grand Canyon University. I'm a biblical studies major. Going to get a degree, not because somebody told me to, but because I just wanted to learn more. And what I feel like is, and me and you had talks, and we done talked. What I feel like is, a lot of times, man, people get blinded by what they see, and yet
Come on,
they don't get the message.
come
And
on.
even though this says hip hop station, you
Hmm.
realize it's a lot of people's lives. There's a lot of people's lives that need to hear a positive word,
Come
but
on,
they're so afraid of going in the four walls of confined that we know
come
as
on,
a church.
come on,
And that's not because that has nothing to do with God, but what it has to do is what the people that represent that of the church.
come on,
So even though I do this, don't ever get it confused. I don't want nobody to miss the message. Even though I do this, you can see my reels, you can see my TikTok. Like this is just the vehicle.
that's
This
it.
is the vehicle.
Come
I
on,
always wanted to, I always wanted to be urban. I always wanted to be urban.
come
Why
on,
I always wanted to be urban. I could throw on the suit, get throw on the tie and everything, but I always wanted to be urban because I always felt like that you're gonna reach more people when you sound like them, when you talk
come
like them,
on.
you can understand them. And those are the people you want to reach. And I just feel like that Christ's message is so big that it's just not confined to the Christian world.
Come
It's some
on.
people that's lost that need this gospel, man. So this right here is just the vehicle, man. And I just enjoy the ride, man. Like I
I
just
love
enjoy.
it. Yo, and that's what it is. And sir, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it's about. Is coming out of the I'll say it, the religious mindset that you can only reach people a certain way and through a certain media. And so I mean, because if you think about it, there's gospel rap, right? And a lot
Yeah,
of people sometimes have a hard time really understanding and getting behind that particular sound. Well, so I challenge everybody, and I say this from a personal spot because it took me a minute. I was one of those. I never really did gospel rap. If it wasn't choir, if it wasn't quartet, I couldn't get with it. But I had to open and expand my mind to other types of music. And let me help you. It's not just while the beats may be hot, what are the words saying? What is the message that's really being portrayed? If it's Christ and truly Jesus, then hey, that's what it is. That's what it's about. So I love the fact that
you know
your
the
heart.
problem. The thing is the thing is like the Christian community can sometimes be so stereotypical of the message that that they receive and not even realizing that people don't have a problem with God or church.
Come on,
They don't. They have a
come on,
problem with people that think that they people that fraudulate, and I don't
come
even know
on,
if that's a word, but I'm gonna use
come
it,
on,
but that fraudulate what Christ and church should look like. You
come
see
on.
what I'm saying? So at the
Right.
same time, we don't know. I mean, we don't know. Like it's one of them things. Nobody really knows what 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 this really looks like. We're just striving, imperfect people striving for something that's even more perfect, man. So like a lot of people ask me that, and I'm glad you asked me. I'm glad you kicked out the show. A lot of people ask me like, man, how you the Christian education director, man, and you do this and man, I be seeing you post the club parties and flyers and all this, but they don't realize that you don't know what lives I'm touching.
Come on.
What conversation that we be having, man, when artists come through all the time, man. I will use this as an example. The Baby, when I first met the Baby, he was right in here. He had his first single, and I remember telling him like, my boy, you in God's care. That may seem light for somebody,
Come on.
but years later,
Come
he's
on.
a millionaire. He's one of the biggest artists in the world, and that was God telling me that it's something in him that I need to tell him. Even if he took it in or he didn't, I did what God told me to do. And I just think that this right here, it's just a vehicle. It's just a vehicle. You know what I mean?
That's it. And I love the fact. Hey, good evening. Hey, listen, sis is on. Evangelist, Dr. Veronica Ingram Williams is on. Hello, ma'am. How are you? It's definitely important that people come out of a judgmental mindset when it comes to Jesus, because Jesus never walked around and judging people. He always walked around and he loved on them. He
Mhm.
never said, okay, you doing this, that, and the third. He may have called him out on it, but he always wrapped it up in love and was like, listen, this is what you got to do to turn your life around. So I love the fact of your mission. I love that. Listen, I might put that on a cup or a
And
t-shirt
it's
or
and
something
it's and it's
because
super duper crazy because my pastor might watch this. He be watching it now, or maybe he might watch it a little later. Like sometimes I feel funny about denominalization, and I don't
come
even
on,
know if that's a word. I'm creating words right now, but
let's go.
I just sometimes I just feel like yeah, we love our Baptist and we love our Presbyterian and we love our Kojic and we love our Zion and we love our CME and we love these things. But at the end of the day, a songwriter wrote a song, Thomas, and I'm sure you know it. It said, "When we all get to heaven, what
Come
a
on.
day of rejoicing it'll be."
Yes,
It never said no denomination. He never said
he didn't.
when the Presbyterians get to heaven, what a day of
No,
rejoicing. When the
no,
when the Koji get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing. So I
right.
condition my mind, like and I love my Zion family, but I condition my mind to realize that there's somewhere greater than this. That
Come
ain't
on.
even that's not distributed up. You know what I mean? I had an idea. I had an idea to do something in Broadway called Kingdom Day to bring people together, like us in Crossroads. Why? Because we two different denominations, man, and we got to sit down at the table. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, like the song go on to say, we'll all sing and shout victory, not
That's it.
this group of people. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So God's just so perfect and just so great. Like I just feel like that once we realize that there's bigger, then like will our ministries and everything that we do when it considers the God go big, man.
Absolutely. Listen, that's it. Listen, good evening, Pastor Swan. Said he's here. Hello, sir. Pray you are well. It's definitely important. But I love that. I love that note. I love that nugget right there that you brought out, because sometimes we get so caught up in the denomination outside of understanding that it's one God. The scripture says it: one God, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. So the sooner we wrap our minds around the fact of, okay, we're all here to serve the same Lord, and it's one God that saves us and keeps us all, not we, because we can't keep ourselves, the better off the world will truly be.
Better off the world will be. Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I love that. So listen, so let's talk for a second. So what inspired you to say, okay, I wanted to actually go into the radio industry? How did you get into the radio?
Well, I ain't really want to do radio. Keep it real. I
Okay.
That's why I said when you asked me who I am, I just said blessed. Like I'm the product of. I really was supposed to graduate with the class 2007. What happened was, man, I in the middle of that school year of transition, and Southern Lee was getting ready to open for the first time ever, and I was in that Kendall district where my mom moved to Hornet County, so it was gonna force me to go to Western Hornet. No disrespect to Western Hornet, but I was Lee County fed, Lee County bred. So at that time, I was losing all my friends and creating something different. So I went to Western Hornet. And to keep it real, since like I always say this in Bible study, man, I'm just transparent because I can only be me. Like I was goofing off, Thomas. I was down there goofing off and messed around and missed the year. So it put me behind the year. You know what I mean? So it got to the point where I was just like, man, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. After the class of 2007 and graduated, I had pretty much made up in my mind that I'm finna quit school. I'm through with this. I ain't finna
Wow.
go back. I'm not finna be no clown for nobody. No. My grandmother, my step grandmother, Pavaris Blue, was a former school teacher in Lee County. She came, I never forget, she came and got me and my mom. She told me, like, I don't know what you gonna do, but you is not finna quit school. We gonna unenroll you from Western Hornet and we're gonna take you back to Lee County. Came back to Lee Senior. And in the class of 08, I graduated. Well, in the time of trying to build and trying to get credits back because I missed out on so many credits so I could graduate on time. And thank God for Aunt Diane Chubbs because she saved my life at that school.
Come
But
on.
she like really helped me a lot. So I had to come up with a plan because college was coming. And I had made up my mind that I was going to go to the Art Institute. A lot of people know this and some don't. One of my hobbies was flyers. You know what I mean? I wanted to do graphic design. So I was gonna go to the Art Institute, but when they started talking the money piece, it was 40 grand. It was 40 grand a semester to attend the Art Institute in Charlotte. So mama said, you got to come up with another plan because financial aid just ain't gonna do that. So then I seen this ad in this newspaper that said Central Carolina Community College, and it was BPT, Broadcasting Technology.
Yeah.
I said, I think I might like this, you know what I mean? So my mom was going to CCCC as a business administrator, so she used to tell me about the program, you know what I mean? And she knew another guy in the program. His name was Tyrone Bethune. Said, I think you really need to meet him. So I met him, went down there, and I was like, I want to sign up for this. So I signed up for broadcasting technology at Central Carolina Community College. Now, this is the kicker right here. God working mysterious ways because years later on, even if I'd had the tuition money to go to the Art Institute in Charlotte ended up closing. So closing due to uncertification and all kind of other stuff. It was in the news and everything. So I really, if I'd have graduated, I'd have had a degree that didn't mean nothing. You see what I'm saying? So I go to Central Carolina. I go through radio. I do radio production and performance. Had a good time. Well, in order to get a degree at Central Carolina, you got to do TV too. It's a double thing.
That's right.
So I got television and I realized, man, I don't like TV. So again, I went to goofing off again, and I messed around and said, man, I'll quit this. I don't even want to do this. If I got to do this, I'm going to quit this. So now, this is the thing. Like, I was depending on them Pell checks, being honest, to get me straight. So now, my ends is low. They real low. So now, I got to make the ultimate decision of go back to school and do television or get a job. I chose the decision to get a job at Cody. I worked at Cody for 3 years. Right up in the distribution department, and I was like, man, I sat in the distribution department many nights, and I could just think, like, man, and it just so happened that I was doing parties in Lillington at this club, and the program director hit the station I'm at now. He came to one of the parties and he sent me a message. He said, man, I think I got an idea for you. Like, when can you meet? I said, I can come down there Monday. So I came Monday. I remember sitting in the office, seeing the Ricky Smiley poster, had on my nice suit and everything. He said, you ever thought about doing radio? I said, no, but I have done radio. He said, you have? I broke down my resume, and it was like, he was like, yeah, when can you start? And that's where the journey began, man. Wow. And it's just like it's crazy because like my dad, I mean, I was telling you about my dad and my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle Sammy, he's a preacher now. He's a pastor now. Pastor Sammy Dowdy. But my uncle Sammy and them created a legacy that was so big. Like they was doing Sammy D and crew. They was a
Okay.
DJ crew. Everybody loved him. So
Wow.
to see the transformation of what I became and what I did was like super duper crazy, man. Like it was just like they played in almost every spot, but they never could make it to radio. So
Mm.
again, God just working mysterious ways, and I'm just thankful and gracious that Manga Sammy, he's still here, but my dad, he's passed on, but he was able to see that. Like he told me one day, son, you did everything we wanted to do, man. You made the radio.
Wow.
They played with
Yeah.
Gilbert Bays, they played with all these people, and it was just like, wow, man. I was like, wow, man. So
Wow.
that was the come up, man. That was just how it started. That's how it began, and we here at this point.
I love it, yo. That's dope. So listen, I gotta know because so it's like I'm a fan of, and we were talking off air. I'm a fan of both broadcasting and TV. So I've thought about doing both of those. And so I've been able to kind of look at both sides a little bit. But what about TV did you hate, and what about radio just kind of drawed you in?
I don't know, man, because I like the music. Now looking
Okay.
back at that, I probably could have done TV, but TV just takes so much. You got to edit, it's
Ah,
synchronization. It takes too long to render the video, and I just ain't had that kind of time. In radio, I could just say what I got to say and cut the music on and keep going. But in that, I just had to do something that was like, man, I don't want like I just at that time of my life, man, I just wanted to be quick to get
right.
in and out, like get in and out. And that's what it was like, man, like TV just took a lot of my time. And you had to you got to be a real thinker. Now I could, looking back at it now, I could go back and do it 100 times over. But
Dope.
why go back and do it now? That's why I went on to study something else at Grand Canyon. That's why I'm studying biblical studies. I could have went back and got a degree in broadcasting, but I'm already
Yeah.
here. So it's like, what's the purpose? Like, and I done seen people go further with no degree in broadcasting.
Come on. Come on. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like I think it's really interesting how nowadays when the society that we live in, how you can advance further in some cases without a degree versus spending all the money. And listen, no shade to anybody. Y'all go get your degrees and go get your do what you gotta do. But for people that that sometimes don't have the funds to go get all these degrees, you're still able to expand and live out the purpose that God has placed inside of you. And I think it's important. So, like, when did you know? Was it at a younger? So, when did you know? Okay, God has His hands on me, and there's something. It's something more to life than just what I'm doing with goof and golf and all of that.
No, I always know that. I always know that. But sometimes you can always know something, but just because you know something don't mean you know
Come on,
how to access
right?
it. So
Right.
I always know that like there won't no way. And I just look at it, there won't no way that God was gonna skip over me.
Come
Simply
on.
because I used to go to Blandonia with my grandmother, Pavars. I would go to vacation Bible school, Sunday school. And it got to the point where you hear it so much, like God got a special gift for you. You just be like, as a kid, like, man, all right. You just keep going. So then I transitioned. I stopped going to church when I started going Cameron Grove. Like, and the crazy part about it is, like, when I started going to Cameron Grove, like, I used to love, at that time, I think Reverend McDougal was the pastor. Presiding Elder McDougal. But I used to love to go to Cameron Grove. I used to go there with mom. Boy, it was a good time. The choir sung real good. Presbytery, they don't sing like the sung real good. It was just a good time. Like, it was just a good time. And I just always know, like the thing about God is, and the thing about how Christianity works, like when something on you, like it just weigh on you so bad. And it weigh on you to the point where you be like, man, I just gotta make a move. The most interesting piece is like when you were giving an introduction, when you were saying the Christian education director of Cameron Grove, like I'd have never thought that. And it's crazy how that even happened. Watch night service 2021. This past, at the end, they do the altar call, and
Right.
God was talking to pastors and talking to people, and he said something to me, but it didn't dawn on my mind of what he was talking about. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He said, God's got something for you, and all you gotta do is say yes, and I'm gonna help you do it. In my
Mm.
mind, Thomas, I'm thinking, and I told Bleak this, my girlfriend Bleak, I said, man, I just did a flyer for my cousin Darrell for Bishop Proctor's Bishop Proctor coming to his Episcopal area. I
Right.
was like, man, maybe he talking about some flyer business. He said, look for the email.
Huh?
So a couple days later, I look at the email and I stalled out. When I read it, I said, my eyes is deceiving me. Like I was reading it. And the reason I say that, because it sounds crazy, but I was already the youth director. But at the same time, like the transition from the youth director to the Christian education, my whole life, mine, Iffy, everybody know mine, Iffy had done Christian education director for the Dunlington district about my whole life. She got 30 years in this thing. So, and her heart is Christian education. So the fact that I was looking at this email, and I never forget, she the first person I called. Like it blew my mind. She was the first person I called. The second one I called was my god sister Ronnie. Man, my mind would blow, and I would conflict for about 4 days. And it came so close to the point for me saying, Pastor, I don't even want to do this, man. I can't do this. Not even realizing that he knows something and he saw something. And God had already showed him something that was so great that I ain't even see myself. And that's just how life has been for me, bro. That's how I knew, like when different people tell you stuff down through the years of your life, bro, it just go. And I can break it down from when I was singing with Abraham Seed, Pastor Dion Allbrooks, sowing seeds in my life. Boom. When Reverend Owens came, Reverend Ray P. Owens used to give me books. And he would always say, like, you a genius. Boom. He give me books and tell me to read up on his literature. Yes. And then it's crazy, like Reverend Swan come and just put the icing on the cake and the candle on the joint. Like this year 7, I believe he's been with us. He's been here 7 years, and each year, those 7 years, I've seen myself. I don't know about else. I've seen myself grow each year. Like each year, I've grown. Like from where I was to where I am now, ain't nothing but God. I ain't gonna tell you no story. Like,
I love it. Listen, no, I love it, sir. As you were talking, as you were talking, okay.
Oh, yeah, no, it's 8.
8 years. 8 years. All right. Get them right. 8 years. 8 years. Hey, Miss Chanel Vista. Good evening. How are you? No, and so what you are saying, sir, speaks volumes around the world, and that is the notion of being planted and having good leadership, and also knowing that it's God sent leadership and being open. I'm trying to help myself and at least 2 other folk. Being open and understanding that the fact that when God sends you good leadership and you stay planted and you stay in His face, that the leadership won't lead you wrong. Like,
and they may. I'm gonna use this as an example, and I use it all the time. Like because this was me. I mean, sometimes you could be walking and you could just see like I was last Sunday. I was looking at the pavement. Like sometimes you can look at asphalt and you can look at concrete and you can see like weeds and things growing through it. And you probably think in your mind, like, yo, how that grow like that, man? Ain't no way
right.
grass grow through that small little crack. And I use that example because I was that weed, man. I still am that weed. And there's some people in the world that's still that weed, that's still growing. The crazy part about this is like Maverick City and Kirk Franklin got this album out, and it's called Kingdom. And Kirk Franklin say something so crazy that if you heard the album, if you missed it, like it blew me. I went to the Breakfast Club interview and I listened to what he said, because he always talking like, he was like, people are so bad about judging growth of its linear ability, not even realizing that no matter if it's right, left, up, around, backwards, it's still growing because it's not in the same place as it was. And I was that weed, bro. Like it's been times where I thought I was gonna break through the concrete, and then boom, the concrete come back closed. But now I'm just at a place now where I've enjoyed sometimes even some of the roughest parts of life, bro. I've just enjoyed the growth and just seeing like what it's become. Like, man, I ain't too much I ain't seen. Like, I done seen a lot. And it's just been God's grace and just God's mercy to just keep growing and keep showing me favor and keep showing me mercy.
Absolutely. Sir, that's a very nugget. So growth is something that we try as a people to accelerate, and it's beyond our control, but it's a process that we have to go through. And it's while it's a process, and I'm gonna be real tonight, while it's a process that sometimes sucks, we have to truthfully just be able to allow God to maneuver it for us.
Like for instance, like I grew last year. Last year I lost 3 important figures in life. At the top of the year, I lost my Uncle Cecil. Like I felt
Yeah.
like I was at the point where I felt like Unc had some more lessons he had to teach me. Like I was like, I want his biological son, but like he just showed me so much love that it was ridiculous. So in that place, like I was stuck for a minute, like what I'm gonna do. Cause he was my peace. You see what I'm saying? Like he would
Right.
always come through. When I was messing up, he gonna let me know. When I was right, he gonna tell
Mm-hmm.
me. And then the ultimate kicker came in the middle of the year. My mom passed, and that right there, was like it took a whole lot out of me to just like really just stop everything. Times like stop everything. Like people don't realize how hard that is to kind of use a parent. Like I done lost my
Right.
dad, but losing a mom, like it's just something on a whole nother different level. And I had missed like 4 weeks, 3 weeks of Bible study, and I never forget this because it changed my life. Um, cousin Tangy Mills sent me a text message that changed my life. It changed my life, man. People don't
Oh,
realize. Like I would say that if you watching it, man, words can change people's life, man. Whether they gotta be careful what you say and how you say it, man, because
come
you
on.
don't know. Like her words, like really uplifted me to a place because she was telling me about a conversation that she had with my mom, but months ago, previously, where she told my mom that she would do her best ability to make sure that I was doing the right thing, and she
Come
had
on.
not failed on her word. Like she had not
Wow.
failed on her word. Not only her, but my Aunt Pat Ragnar. She called me on the phone. Like, why you ain't been on Bible study? I'm just down bad. And I just told her. And she was like, well, if your mama was here, you know what she be saying. And I just got to thinking, and that brought me back. So then, right when I thought I was back, Thomas, it go even deeper.
Come on.
In the fall, my grandma passed. So that was
Mhm.
like, and I remember when I was a little kid, I used to hear the older people say that death sometimes come in threes, and I used to think that they
Yeah.
were crazy. Like I ain't understand what they were talking about. It was over my head, but it was just like one of those things that it was just like wow. But I ended up, how I ended up coming back to peace was I started studying hymns. Keep it real, I
Mm.
started studying hymns, and
Come on.
it's one hymn that I kind of fell in love with, and that was "It Is Well with My Soul."
Yes, sir.
And I remember looking up the story about the guy that wrote it. His name was Horatio Spafford, and he went through a
Yeah.
whole lot. Like he literally wrote this song in the back of a boat. Like he was in the back of the boat, not even knowing what was going on with his family, who had just been in a wreck in a shipwreck. And he wrote this song and it ends in such a beautiful place where they said,
Yeah.
"Wherever my
Uh,
lot," that was taught me to say,
it's-
"It is well with my soul." And then another song helped me get through, and that was Maverick City Gyra, man. Like
mm.
you are enough. I'll be content in every circumstance. You know what I mean? Life doesn't pick what it throws. You don't get to pick what life throws at you.
Cool.
You don't get to pick it. You don't know how it's gonna go. You don't know where it's gonna go. But at the end of the day, like that's one of my favorite songs. Like I will be content in every circumstance, whether I'm broke, whether I'm up, whether I'm
Yes.
down, whether I got friends, whether I don't, I'm still content. Cause God, you are enough. And those things
Yeah.
just help me get through. And I still lean on them. I still had the moments when I just be like, man, why am I doing this, man? Like, why? But I still remind myself that God is enough, and it'll help me get through.
Amen. Listen, so you brought them up. So I want to ask this question because I want to get your opinion because you're involved in music as well. Why do you feel that the CCM community, particularly Maverick City, gets such a bad rap when it comes to the gospel industry?
I think that's the same message that we've been you. Believe it or not, Maverick City changed gospel music, and I'm gonna tell you why. Maverick City, and anybody listening to this, and when they go back and listen to it, I said it. Kurt Franklin needed Maverick City, and Maverick City needed Kurt Franklin.
Come
And I'm
on.
gonna tell you how. Maverick City needed Kurt Franklin to introduce Kurt Franklin to CCM. A lot of people
Mm,
don't believe it or not, man. A lot of people don't really know who Kurt is in that CCM world. They know of
right,
him, but they
right,
don't know who he is.
right.
Maverick City needed Kurt Franklin to introduce them to the gospel world.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
with that being said, what Maverick City is doing, if the gospel community has an issue with Maverick City, they have an issue with Christ, pretty much.
Come
And
on.
I'm gonna tell
Come
you
on.
why, because these young
Come on.
kids, they're out
Come
of
on.
like Kurt Franklin said on the Breakfast Club, these young kids are out of this world. Like
Yeah.
listen to their songs, like not just gyra just because you hear it on the radio. Listen
Right.
to their records. Listen to the purity of what they singing. Listen to the Chandler and Naomi and Brandon and my guy from Rockingham, Dante Bowe. These
Yes.
kids are super duper amazing, and that is actually what I think that Christianity should look like.
Come on.
Is what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? And they got Kurt with them. We're gonna have to learn that the reason why the people don't understand is like I do this radio music and all this. The reason why Kanye West was able to take over the charts of the gospel music industry is simply because all the gospel music sounds the same.
Come on.
Everybody sounds the same. Who's changed gospel music in the last 10 years? Kurt Franklin. Kurt Franklin. Ty Tribbett. We know the names. We can go down the list. But gospel has built that traditional sound. So I'm glad to see them winning. I'm glad to see them winning awards. Like they winning so many awards. It's crazy. The BET Award. Kurt Franklin and Little Baby won gospel inspirational record. Kurt Franklin. And this is the message I want to give, Thomas. If I can give a nugget right here, Kurt Franklin gave a nugget at the BET Awards. It's simple as this. Kurt Franklin and Little Baby won the award. Kurt Franklin called Maverick City up there, and he said this one thing. He said when he was in when he was in their shoes, he wished somebody passed him the torch. He gave his award to these kids. What does that say, man? That say so many times in life, man, people will stay in something, man, and people will be a part of something for so long and forget that somebody gave them the torch. But now they got the torch. They don't forgot that I don't gotta pass the torch, which is why I believe that some of our churches, some of our relationships, some of our families, man, some of our friendships are drowning. Because some people are so afraid to pass the torch. Bro. Like gave up his BET award to these kids. He said, I got plenty of these. I want to pass this torch on to them. We got to learn to pass the torch, man. In Christianity and friendships, relationships, all that, man. Pass the torch on. Don't hold a secret, man. Put somebody else in a position that can be ready just in case something go left and something happen to you. Like I think that's something that we as gospel community and the Christian community don't do a good job of, man. We just don't.
Facts. No, I'll agree with you 110%, sir. That is key. That's key because but I'm gonna piggyback on what you said with Maverick City introducing Kirk to the gospel, because prior to and listen, and I'll say this, listen, if you guys have not heard Kingdom Book 1, go get the album. The entire album is absolutely amazing. So like, because it took, so for those closed-minded people, and I say this because I was the closed-minded person when it came to CCM. Like I never really would like dive over there because I was like, I went in with the church mindset. I
can understand. I can understand you though, and I'm gonna tell you why, because you're a choir guy. You like to hear the choir. You like the clap. So it's a little different. A lot of people don't realize that CeCe Wine has been CCM. She been singing CCM for years, but we love CeCe and BB and we love the wine.
That's it.
Why is it so hard to accept these kids? You know what I mean? The kids change gospel music. Like I said, man, it's only been 4 artists that I can name in my hand that's changed the sound of gospel music. One was Kurt, Mary, throw them in the conversation. They changed the sound of gospel music. Ty Tribbett. But people wasn't prepared for that. Anything new, people afraid of, man. People afraid of. They're afraid of growth. They're afraid of seeing bigger than what they've already been conditioned to believe. I mean, they're afraid of it. We see it all the time. Growth is scary to people, man.
Yeah.
Growth is scary. They want growth. You want your church to have 500 people till 500 people show up.
Come on, sir. Come on.
Let's be honest.
Right.
Like, people want big ministries until 1,000 people, but people are scared of growth. But we want growth. It's what we asking God for. So I mean, with that, it's gonna come. I mean, it's gonna come. They're gonna get they do it. Gospel gonna have to accept it. I mean, I love them.
Listen, they are legit. One of their sound is pure, like it legit by far. Like again, and I say this I'll say it the way it's in my head as a new convert to Maverick City, because for years, like it was everybody when Chandler first came on the scene, everybody was like, "Yo, Chandler Moore, that dude has a nice sound." And I was fighting against the machine. I was like, no, I don't like him. I don't like the sound. And it was because my mind was closed to the sound of gospel until I actually sat down and actually listened to the message that he was saying. It was like, yo, dude is nice, like
It
all
is,
day.
and it's crazy because they background is just so entrenched in just ministry. Like
Yes,
they under the tutelage of people like Stephen Furtick.
yes,
Probably one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite. Other than my pastor, I got four favorite pastors. Man, one of them is Pastor Kenneth Lamont Swan, preach KL
right.
preach. One of them is Stephen Furtick. One of them is TD Jakes, and the other one, just because I like a good sermon, is Noel Jones. And I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you why. I can tell you why I like each and every one of them. My pastor KL Swan, the 3-point preacher. He gonna give
Come
you them
on,
three.
sir.
He gonna give you them 3
Listen,
points, and then gonna bring you on home. You know what I mean? We
facts.
love that. I love Stephen Furtick because Stephen Furtick applies real life instances to what
Yes.
he's preaching. So at the same time, I can, just like I look right now, Furtick can come to church dressed like this and still preach a sermon that just expounds your mind. TD Jakes, one of the ultimate wordsmiths that ever
Listen.
write down. Like I study sermons. Like I read sermons. Sometimes I read sermons, and if you sit down and you read or you just listen to this man talk, that man know that Bible back and forth, and
Mhm.
he can also relate. As old as TD Jakes is, he's still current with what's going on.
Absolutely.
Noel
Absolutely.
Jones, Noel Jones got to be at least 70 years old, but he's still a preaching fool. Yeah, you don't
He
even
is.
want Noel
He is.
Jones is gonna preach. So it's like Maverick City, they under a tutelage of like wow, like Stephen Furtick wrote Gyra. A lot of people don't know that. His pen is on
Wow.
Gyra. Some of those songs that Maverick City has done, he's been a part of. And Elevation. When Elevation and Maverick City were working
Yeah.
together, that's Elevation is Furtick's church. It's in Ballantyne, North Carolina. That's
That's
their
right.
place where they film everything at. It's right there. So
Right.
it's just amazing experience, like man. So just to see them win, how they've been winning, like that's just amazing. I think what the gospel community is, they're scared of them. They're scared of them because so many have been in place for so long. It's something new. What do we do? They was like
Mm.
that with Ty. I mean, they were like that with Ty.
They
They was
were.
like that with Kurt. When
They
Kurt came
were.
out, don't. Then nobody want to hear that. They didn't know where
No.
the gospel was going.
Right. Right. Legit. Yeah, absolutely. Like, because Kirk changed the game with Stomp, and then
That
he did
message, that
And then he
message
did
that you gave,
Revolution.
that message that you gave, you can even reply to the church, bro.
Come
Like you
on.
think about it, like certain churches is scared they scared to be on a like you want people, you want to reach people, you want to reach the lost, yet you can't relate to them because
Come on.
you don't know. That's why like that first question, probably one of the most illest questions I ever heard asked. Like when people see this station and they see me where I am, like, why are you there? Sometimes you got to be somewhere in order to take people somewhere else. You see what I'm
Come
saying?
on, sir.
So a lot of people like, man, it's been a lot of people that then came up to me at events and said, you go to Cameron Grove. Oh, Swan, your pastor. And I be thinking myself, how y'all know him? Like I be, or if they don't say that, they'll say, you know, Evangelist Williams. I like how they know them. Like so at the same time, I use them as an example because they're not afraid to be in them places with people, just like you. Like you're not afraid to be in them places with people, like because there was times when I was actually in that place, and I wish somebody would have came and talked to me and had a word with me.
Listen. And I'm like, real talk, brother. And I've shared this with you before. A lot of people sleep on you, and it's because of they automatically they go in with the mindset. And I trust me, y'all. I have more questions about radio, but we gonna shift. Um, when it comes to your demeanor and your humbleness behind how you carry yourself, regardless of where you work, you understand the assignment and the purpose that's on your life, and you stay true to that. Most people would say, okay, I got a job over here at 104.5. I get to go to the club, da da da. If you're not mature enough, that thing can drag you into that arena, and you may stay stuck there.
Yeah, I've been like it's crazy, man. And I share this with Sunday school a lot. Like, it's been mornings before. Like I done had mornings where I done tried Saturday night. I done had to do an event, but I still found some kind of way to go to church. Like that was one thing my mom used to make me do. I used to have to do that. So it was just something that they would make me do. So I didn't have no other choice but to do that.
Wow, that's what's up. You have to say so what would you say to those individuals that say, you know what, I like what he does and I want to kind of try to do something like that. What would you say to that up and coming uh person? Let's start, let's go school. The up and coming graduate, if you will, or the child in school that says, you know what, I'm over here, I'm in the same boat as him. I'm goofing off this, that, and the third, but because I feel like I have all the time in the world to make something of myself. Let's start there. What would you say to that individual?
Um, you don't got all the time in the world, but you don't have all the time in the world. The time don't wait for nobody, but at the same time, you can't force nothing either. So when that time comes for you to be ready, to tap in, it's gonna happen. I mean, like this is just crazy. Like this whole situation is just crazy with me, but it don't happen like that for everybody. I done seen people from where I'm from just like with stars in school, and now I look at them now, and it's like, man, they really could have been something. I'm pretty sure you done seen them too. So you
But
just get to picking. You can't. It's sometimes you can't pick and choose that.
I like that.
You just gotta know when it's time. You know, like when it's time,
Mhm.
like I was in school. Like when it's time, like a lot of stuff I used to do, I don't even do no more. Like it just don't even feel right to me. It just
And
feel
that
weird.
and that, ladies and gentlemen, is called growth. That's what growth is.
It's linear, but a lot of times people judge growth. Like I said, people judge growth by its linear ability. Sometimes growth ain't linear. Sometimes growth can be right, left,
Yeah.
around, backwards, but at the same time, it's still growth. Anything that moves from its current place and not stay stagnant is growth. So even if it moves right, left, back, forward, look back, it's growing. If you look
Absolutely.
at your plants, sometimes if you look at the pots, they don't always grow straight up.
Mm,
like they're gonna grow all over the place. Like so
right.
that's how I judge life, man. Cause you don't really get to pick and choose how life is gonna throw things at you, man. You don't. There ain't no. There's no guesstimate on that.
I love it. So just because it's in my head and I it keep coming back, I try to get away from it. So what would you say? That's an interview question that it popped in my head for you. What is D Dowdy's 5-year plan with the degree and everything else that you're doing right now?
Well, I ain't got a degree yet. I'm close to it, but
Okay.
5 year plan, like, bro, I really want to take this to another level. Like, I already studying biblical study. That's my study, but I want to go to like actual divinity school. I actually want to learn. You know what I mean? 'Cause a lot of
Well,
people, man, they'll know the bot. A lot of people they had these degrees and things, but they don't really be knowing. They just be talking because it just look good. It just look good to put on your name. But at the
most
same time,
definitely.
like with me, bro, like I'm really serious about who I want to be and how I want to take this and where I want to go with this. And I mean, when you people know when you come from a pure place, like in ministry and in anything, like people will know when you sincere and when you pure. And I'm ever so thankful to my Cameron Grove family because I believe they see the pureness in it. Like they see the pureness in how I'm like from what I was doing to what I'm doing now and the growth. You see it. So like sometimes people seeing is believing. So the old people used to tell me,
Mhm.
you got to see something to believe it. If you don't see it, you don't believe it.
There it is. There it is. Absolutely. So the person that may say, okay, I want to do radio or I want to do TV, but I'm not sure how to go about getting into the industry. What would you say to that person?
Man, radio is a crazy game right now, man. To be real, like the pandemic kind of really, the pandemic really put radio like on a, I don't know, like this was like the all-star game when the pandemic came.
Mm,
I'm gonna tell you why. Like I seen a lot of people lost their job during the pandemic simply because like stores, like people don't realize how the radio work. They don't really understand. Like yo, you hear the music, but like radio work off commercial. So if
that's
radio
it.
work off
Sponsors.
commercial, like when businesses is closed, like when the pandemic first hit, when the businesses were closed, there ain't nobody buying commercial time. That's why I'm
Mhm.
thankful for this right here. Like this is my heart. Like 105 is my heart. Simply because like the guy that owns it, Dr. Carson, he's black owned. Like it's black owned. So I mean, so a lot during the pandemic, like a lot of that he was taking care of us out of his own pocket. You see what I'm saying? Off
Wow.
money that had already been put up the station. You did because there was nobody, there won't no sales coming in as
Right.
rapid as they usually came. So I looked around the grid and just looked around radio, and I just seen some of the legends was losing jobs. Like the biggest companies was letting go of their people and just letting it was like, man, this is wild. Like this is wild. What radio does is, man, like radio, like they call it radio personality for a reason. So a radio is like it look good. You probably seen the interviews and people probably see my pictures, and sometimes you might see me here and there. But at the same time, what looks like fun, like I'm having fun, I'm really it's fun for the moment, but it's still work at the same time. You see what I'm saying? Like I've been fortunate enough in this 5 year run to see 4 artists go platinum from North Carolina.
Wow. Come on.
Actually, three, no, four. I seen 4 artists go platinum, and one of them win a Grammy.
Wow.
Maybe two of them win a Grammy. I seen that, and they all came to my show. Baby, Tusi, Moray. The only one that ain't came is Cole. That's the only one that ain't came. But still, it's just the reality is like God just like this is it's an amazing thing. But at the same time, like man, it takes work, bro. Man, some nights I don't even get sleep. Like some
Mm.
nights I just don't get sleep because my mind always working. You always want to be ahead of the you always in the market that you in. Like we were talking earlier, you always want to be ahead of what's going on in the market. So this like market 129. So I'm always trying to think ahead of what's going on. So you always got to be a thinker. Always got to be thinking, creating content. And it got to the point. Now I ran into a rough patch earlier this year. Um, One of the OGs that was here when I came here, like he been here like 25 years. He passed. So that was like a rough moment. Cause I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to do this no more. Like I can't. But at the same time, like the weight it was just so weighty. But I said, man, if it were me and he would be still here, bro, he'd still kept going. So now we just built the new team. So I've been out of all the personalities, I've been here the longest. So
Wow.
at 12 the mint from 10, yeah, from 10 to 3 is Tamika, which is on midday with
Mhm.
Tamika Bright. I think she's been on your show.
Facts.
3 to
Yeah.
7, 3 to 7 is YM, and then 7 to midnight I close out. So like radio is like if it's in your heart, like like word up, like a way will be made. Like even with you, like this right here is podcasting, but it had to take an energy, a certain kind of
Yeah.
intellect to put this together. You see what I'm saying? So you just keep trusting and keep going and keep tapping into it, man. And I just believe in just speaking life like that. You know what I mean? Like I done started something new. Like I be wanting to speak what I want people to speak to me. And I be telling people the same thing. Like, man, like so if you interested in radio and you got questions, reach out to me. I don't mind answering no questions, man. I ain't very Gordy. Like I ain't no like I don't mind answering questions or nothing, man. I think a lot of people probably think like, man, bro be doing a lot, man. But at the same time I do be doing a lot, but I don't mind answering questions. So if you want to know about radio, holla at me.
There it is. Listen, you guys have heard it here first. Listen, contact Dee Dowdy. So listen, sir. So before as we get ready to close out for this Friday night edition of Wilson and Wilson Weekends, we gotta let you do what you do best. So listen, go ahead and give us before we close in your best radio voice. How would you introduce Wilson and Wilson Weekends?
Oh man, let me see. Let me think. How you want me to do it? Like you was on my show?
Sure.
All right, check it out. Hey, listen, it's 104.5. It's Monday. The hottest show in the world is on your radio dial. I'm honored and privileged to have a special guest in the building. I got my guy in here with me. I got the legendary, the guy himself, the innovator, all of that. Thomas Wilson of Wilson and Wilson Consulting. He's in the building with me right now, man. What's up, man? That's how I would do the intro.
Dope. Listen,
I
absolutely
believe in keeping
fire.
I believe in keeping it all personal. You know what I mean? Like interviews and anything to me is like a personal conversation. I just told somebody this other day, it's like playing cards. Like you in the car house playing, and I know we got Chris on here, but you in the car house playing cards and you talking to everybody at the table. But this is different because everybody's listening. So
Come
I
on.
mean, like that's what it is, man. Like
Absolutely. Listen, I love it. I love that intro. Absolutely fire. So listen, we gotta let you shout out again. You've been shouting it out the entire time. Your church, Cameron Grove Emmy
oh
Zion
man,
Church.
let me say this before he
So
kill. Let me say this before he kill me. Before he kill me, hey, listen, man.
yes,
The 100 and Pastor made a mistake. So 146 homecoming going down, man. This Sunday, the Bishop will be in the building. The Bishop Brian Thompson, man. We so honored and privileged to have him, man. I'm inviting you, man. Come kick it with me, man. Come eat a little something with me. We're gonna feed you afterwards. Choir gonna sing real good, man. And we're gonna just have a good time and celebrate 146 years. And I think you were telling me shout outs. Shout out to Cameron Grove, man. I see a lot of them on here. Thank y'all. Y'all don't really know what y'all giving me. last year and still giving me from passing my mom and all of that, man. Y'all keep me going. Shout out to my pastor. He keep me moving, keep me going. Shout out to what I feel like is and I don't really do this much, but and I don't want to forget them when I'm like a lot of people don't realize like my first started even doing flyers was through Dion Allbrooks, man. So I gotta give him a big shout out, Pastor Dion Allbrooks, for even taking a kid like me. He would come all the way from Sanford to Rosser Pittman to pick me up. You
Come
gotta
on.
pick me up. I had to go sing. You got to go pick me up. So big shout out to him. Shout out to my Effie. Shout out to my Effie Woodard. And this is the first time you probably heard me say my Effie, like be teaching me silent lessons. It's crazy because she been my aunt for I'll be 33 money, so she been my aunt for 33 years. So I've been learning lessons each year. Each year as it grow and each year as it go. And I love her to death. Like I not only do the Christian education director at the church, but I'm the Yakum director on the district. I got all kind of titles, man, and I just so honored and so thankful. Shout out to my god sister, Evangelist Ron. Thank her for being on here tonight. Sis be preaching, sis be moving,
Okay.
such an inspiration. Who else, man? I don't want to forget nobody. I don't forget nobody, man. Don't let me forget nobody. Shout out to my family and shout out to my pastor, man. Every pastor that I had from Reverend Dugal, Reverend Owens to everybody because they seen something in me that I ain't even seen myself. And I'm gonna tell you who really seen something in me, and she used to tell me all the time. And I used to think that I was blowing my mind, and this gonna go red old school. But Miss Naomi Douglas, I never forget this day
Come
of my life.
on.
I never get this day of my life. Annual conference. I think Amy Zion has annual conference, and it
Thanks.
was in Durham. It was in Durham, and they had it at Hillside. And at that
Mm-hmm.
time, my cousin Darrell, he was still preaching, and it was his second year going back to Earl Memorial. And I never forget
Mm-hmm.
this. I was going to get his books. I was going to help him because it was Sunday. Sunday after they get appointments, it's time to go. And I
Right.
seen Miss Douglas was sitting on the end. And Miss Douglas seen me. Said, "How you doing, son?" I gave her a hug, and she stopped me and she said, "God got something special for you. Listen for the voices. Listen for the voice." I was a little kid then, Thomas, for real. I might have been a little bit out of high school, but I was still little and I ain't understand that. And it's
Wow.
crazy that I bring that up tonight because now I look at what I'm doing now and I just think
Come on.
about like and I was like, wow. So you mean to tell me Miss Douglas seen that then? That's just incredible. And big shout out to the station too. Yeah, big shout out to the station. Them all the shout outs I got, bro.
Dope. Listen, I love it. Well, listen, as is in the comments, you guys, 10 o'clock this Sunday, Cameron Grove Amazon Church. You guys go and get fed. That's right. It's physical food, spiritual food, all that other good stuff. Again, shout out to everybody that's on, Pastor Swan, Sis, Ronnie. Listen, we love you guys. Miss Beaster, everybody that's on. Good. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. So listen, Dee, before we go, sir, if you can, please, pray us out.
Yeah, I got my guests in here. They done pulled up on me.
Oh,
Yeah, you know I
no.
was at work. But listen, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. Everybody behind here. Good God, thank you for this moment. Thank you for this opportunity to share with Thomas on this platform. God, we thankful. God, we love you. These words are asking your name. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Listen, sir, we appreciate you. We hope you have a great night. Let's talk soon. Listen, good people. Listen, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on tonight for Wilson and Wilson Weekends. Ronnie, we love you back. Listen, bless you, Swan. Listen, I have had an absolutely amazing ball on tonight. Listen, I pray you guys have enjoyed tonight's conversation with me and my guy, Dee Dowdy. That's right. You guys be on the lookout for brand new things coming up this weekend. That's right. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. That's right. The queen herself, Miss April Hall. That's right. She sings with Ricky Dillard. She will be on the show. And then closing out Sunday evening with the woman of God herself, Elder Sandy Falk. We are super excited and elated to be able to have these conversations. And we tell God, thank you. Shout out to my queen. That's right. My wife, my executive producer of Wilson and Wilson Weekends, who covers me, who takes care of this show and me and the family. That's right. Latasha, thank you so much, baby. We love you. Shout out to our amazing sponsors. That's right. The Oil and Water Lifestyle, you guys, where you can get your custom blended teas, body scrubs, oils, and so much more. That's right. The Oil and Water Lifestyle.com. Listen, hit us up today. That's right. We'll be at downtown Sanford tomorrow, farmers market from 8:30 a.m. to 12 o'clock noon. So guys, come see us, come see us, come see us. And shout out to, that's right, the hottest salon and spa in the city. That's right. Full Circle Beauty Consulting. That's right. My wife owns that. It is 2515 Watson Avenue in the city of Sanford, North Carolina. You guys go get your facials, your waxing, your hair done, your massage, hair braided, all that, lashes, and so much more. We have it right here in the city for you. So you guys come check us out. Full Circle Beauty Consulting. And shout out to, that's right, the hottest radio station in the world, Onyx Urban Radio. That's right. You guys can catch Wilson and Wilson weekends every Sunday from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock on onyxurbanradio.net. Again, you guys don't want to miss that. Stay tuned. Onyx Urban Radio Awards coming up. That's right, in October. You don't want to miss that. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. But until next time, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We love you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you soon. Love you. Bye, people.